nos han introducido al presente de Camus.
So we've been introduced to the present of Camus, and now we wanted to close with our performance, because what we are going to see now is an action that is completed at the time when it takes place. It doesn't exist before nor afterwards. It will only exist now. And this is why I'm very happy to welcome Torreznos, Jaime and Rafael. And this piece they're going to share with us, the human condition. So I leave you with them.
Buenos días.
Buenos días.
Good morning. Good morning. We are Los Torreznos, and today we are going to do the human condition with you today. And thank you. Yes, thank you. It's very good to have a round of applause before our work, because you might not applaud at the end. So thank you for that. Well, of course, first of all, we would like to thank the organizers and everybody involved in making this fantastic event possible. It's truly fantastic to have a space of critical thinking right now. It is a great thing for us to have this opportunity to participate here. It is also a responsibility to be at the end, and it's also a risk for the organizers to decide to have a performance at the very end. So welcome in any case for this risk, and we will try to do our best. I say, okay, so why are we here? Well, we don't really know why we've been invited, but in any case, perhaps we might be able to contribute something to this idea of the role of art in this fraternal community we've been discussing today. From our experience and what we do and manage, which is this thing of our performance. Although this doesn't look like a performance, it looks like a talk. But that's the interesting thing in performances, that it should be surprising and it should never be what people expect it to be. So in that sense, we will see little by little where we're heading, right? Well, just to go back to things that have been mentioned during these 2 days, this idea of the fraternity, brotherhood. Well, we hadn't prepared that, but we've been together for 35 years, more or less. We've been working together for that long. We have very different characters and personalities, as you'll see. And well, perhaps in 35 years' time, well, for 35 years, we've been doing things together. This is an example of fraternity, right? It's a simple or composed or combined fraternity. Well, when we're thinking about this idea of fraternity, perhaps we tend to see the world as something ideal, with color under the sun, and also with a rainbow and everything like that. But the fraternity is full of tensions, difficult moments or situations you think you will never overcome. And then sometimes you're completely opposed to your symbolic brother. And here we are. What else? We've had some examples of linking art with the themes that we've been discussing during these days. Well, very intense, wonderful, also very important. And our contribution is from the inside of an experience where we have a blurring of the role of the artist and the person. It is a territory where there's a will, where each person should be a type of artist that is different, a different scale, not a different scale from that of human beings, but that belongs to humankind. So, yes, in that sense, our intention is to work not the exterior, but the inside of the artists, the inner being, a sort of electricity plant that is inside the artist, but that the artist needs to come to be able to convert into something that can be shown to the community. Yes, but every person can be that. Yes, of course, but without the label, of artist. Yes, of course. Each person is an artist. That's something we already know. We already heard that yesterday. Everybody, any person can do free diving. We heard that yesterday. And yes, well, this is not so difficult as apnea. But yes, this is the dimension we're talking about. We are all artists. And we, in that sense, all have the opportunity to tell the world about this. And in that sense, well, we could continue talking a lot. Of course. But we should also say, well, don't be afraid. Don't panic. Well, perhaps the artist, whoever the artist is, we are being too demanding on the artist. They need to know about politics, philosophy, astrophysics, biology. I mean, I don't know, if you know how to do one little thing, a very specific thing, okay, but there's a lot of demands there. Well, yes, it's a bit difficult because nobody really knows if an artist should be a wise man or an ignorant man. Because, well, perhaps the artist will be asked a question about astrophysics and they want to know what to answer. Or perhaps it could be an ignorant man, and we've seen that in the history of art. Some examples. But talking about ignorance is already a very delicate word. Yes, I don't know. It's a bit risky, perhaps. We need to clarify. This should need to be specified or clarified. So perhaps the audience is wondering where we're heading to. Well, the role of the art. Okay, we should at least clarify that. What is the role of art? So let's stand up for this. Yeah, we need to stand up to be able to tell about this. The first thing that needs to be said is that the artist, before being an artist, is a human being. And within that human condition, the artist needs to think about the world and needs to limit a bit their ego that make them precisely artists. That is what makes them an artist. Yes, that's important. But the second important idea is that the artist, artist, should have an affirmative character. Negation? No. Affirmation. Affirmation, and from a constructive point of view. That should be clear too. And with this constructive direction, the artist needs to know what their stance is, and that's identity. Yes, this has been mentioned. They need to know where the identity is in order to be able to enlighten other identities. That's necessary. At the same time, the artist needs to be flexible and be able to place themselves in somebody else's shoes. and see other perspectives. So identity, but flexibility at the same time. Yes, and flexibility, you're saying, but it should be aware of the temporal dimension, because the artist is working here and now. This is the radical present. And at the same time, the artist should not forget those who placed him there, the previous artists, and also and be aware of the fact that in the future others will understand them better than when they come. Yes, but at the same time, this is being responsible of what one says and does. That's another of the characteristics of an artist. And yes, when you take something on yourself, you need to have good memory. You cannot forget things because you are a representative of a whole community of many others. And this community needs to be always present, active, and willing to host. Yes. Yes, you're right. But this brings me to this idea that the artist should have a relationship with the matter, with the concrete, but at the same time also with the invisible, the spirit, essence, something that is unseen. So they need to work in this translation from the visible to the invisible. That's their work. That's the task. And yes, but also when the artist sees this clearly, they understand that there is a very powerful tool to understand the world, the verb, and they need to learn how to use that. Yes, there's no other issue. And in some way, they should fight against what we take for granted. Like, often we say, we already know this. We emptying the meaning of words where we have empty shells. So to avoid those empty shells, the artist knows that as an artist of their time, they should look for new ways of doing things, and they need to experiment, and they need to take on the risk that they will probably not be understood. But that's their obligation, and that's what they do. Yes, and in that sense, this uneasiness, provocation is not something they're looking for, but a consequence of experimentation itself. And from then on, the artist needs to resist and also look into the inside, right? Yes, of course, always look into the inside. How can I bring what I have inside? How can I bring that outside? How can I do that? Bring what I have inside me boiling. How can I bring it out? But not the unintelligible things, but some things in some way that can be understood. You need to focus, concentrate. Okay, let's see, listen, and find out what's boiling inside. And then you start sort of connecting.
Ser.
To be.
Estar.
To be.
Ser.
Estar.
To be. To be.
Ser.
Estar.
To be. To be. To be. To be.
Yo soy.
I am.
Yo estoy.
I am.
Yo soy.
Yo estoy.
Yo soy. Soy.
I am.
Yo
I am.
estoy.
Yo soy.
Explain with the two meanings of
Soy yo.
the verb to be in Spanish.
Estoy.
Yo soy.
Yo.
Yo soy.
Estoy. Yo.
Yo soy.
Yo estoy.
Yo soy.
Yo estoy.
Yo soy.
Yo estoy.
We have two verbs for the meaning of to be in Spanish, ser and estar.
Tú estás.
So you are,
Tú estás.
Tú eres.
you are.
Tú estás. Estás.
So they playing around with ser, which is the meaning of being as an identity, and estar, which is the meaning of being in a
Tú
place.
estabas.
Tú fuiste. Tú fuiste.
Tú estuviste. Tú estuviste.
Tú estarías.
You were. You were. You would be.
Y tú serías.
Tú estarás. Tú estarás.
Tú serás.
Tú
You will
estarás.
be.
Tú serás.
Tú estarás.
You will be.
Serás.
Tú serás. Tú estarás.
Tú eres. Tú eres.
You are. You are.
Ella es.
She is.
Ella es.
She is.
Ella es. Ella
Ella
estaba.
Ella estaba.
She was.
Ella estaba.
Ella estará. Estará.
She will be. She will be.
Él está. Él está. Él está.
He is. He is.
Él estaría. Estaría.
Él estaría.
He would be.
Él fue.
Él fue.
He was.
Él fue. Él fue. Él fue.
He was.
Él fue. Él fue. Él fue.
Él fue. Él
He
sería,
was.
ella-
He would be.
ella estuvo, ella
She was
estuvo,
there.
Ella está. Ella,
She is.
Ella es.
She is. She is.
Está. Él está.
Él es.
She is here. He
Él
is.
es. Él
He is.
estuvo.
Él estuvo.
He was.
Él está.
Y él estará.
He is. And he will be.
Estará.
He will be. Ah,
Él
He-
estaría.
would be.
Estaría.
He would be.
Estaría.
He would be.
Estaría.
Estaría. Estaría.
He would be. He would be.
Ella está. Ella está. Ella
She
está.
is.
Ella está. Ella está.
She is.
Ella está. Ella está,
ella
ella
está,
es,
ella es,
She
ella
is.
fue,
ella fue,
ella
She
fue,
was.
será,
ella será,
She will be.
será.
Ay,
nosotros somos,
we
nosotros
are.
fuimos y
We
nosotros
were.
estaremos.
And we will be.
Nosotros fuimos y
We
nosotros
were.
estaremos.
And we will
Nosotros
be.
somos,
And
nosotros
we are.
fuimos y
And we
nosotros
were.
estaremos.
And we
Sí,
will be.
nosotros
Yes,
estamos.
we
Nosotros
are.
estaremos.
Estuvimos,
We will be. We were.
y,
And we will
nosotros
be.
estaríamos.
Sí, estaríamos.
And we would be.
Pero estamos.
Estamos.
Sí.
But we are.
Pero estamos.
Nosotros estamos.
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 We
Sí,
are.
estaremos.
And we will be.
Y nosotros somos. Y nosotros
And we
fuimos.
were.
Seremos.
Seremos.
We will be.
Seremos.
Y nosotros seríamos.
Seríamos.
And we may be.
Somos.
But we are.
Somos.
Vosotros.
You.
Fuisteis.
You were.
Vosotros fuisteis.
Vosotros
Where.
Vosotros fuisteis.
Vosotros.
You were.
Vosotros
You.
Vosotros fuisteis.
You were.
Vosotros
It was you.
Vosotros
fuisteis.
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 It was you.
Vosotros.
You.
Fuisteis vosotros.
It were you.
Ellos.
Ellos
They.
estaban.
They were.
Ellos eran.
They were.
Ellos estaban.
And they were there.
Ellos
Ellos.
estarían.
They would be.
Ellos
They.
Ellos
They were.
serían,
estarán.
They would be. They will be. They.
ellos hubieran estado.
They would have been. They
Hubieran
would
estado.
have been.
O sea, ella habría sido.
Would have been.
Y ellas
And they would be.
Ellas habían estado.
They had been.
Él estaba, ella estaba.
He was. She was.
Él fue.
He was.
Ellos
They
habían sido.
had been.
ellos habían estado.
They had been
Habían estado.
in a place.
Él fue.
Él era.
And he was.
Él fue.
He used to be.
Y ellas serán.
Ellas
And they will be.
Ellas serán.
Ellas estarán.
They will be.
Ellas habrían sido. Ellas habrían sido.
Habrían sido ellas.
habrían
They
sido
would
ellas,
have
habrían sido
been.
ellas, y ellos habían
And
estado.
Habrían estado.
Ellos
and they
siendo.
Ellos hubieran sido.
Hubieran sido.
being. They would have been.
Hubieran sido.
Hubieran sido.
Y
They
serían.
would be.
Ellos serían.
They would be.
Nosotros.
Yo soy yo. Yo soy yo.
I am. I. I'm.
Nosotros somos nosotros.
Nosotros somos
We are we.
Nosotros somos nosotros.
ellos.
We
son
are
ellos,
we.
ellas son
They
ellas,
are. They. I am I. He is he.
Vosotros sois vosotros.
You are you.
Yo soy yo.
I am
Tú eres tú.
me. You are you.
Ella.
She.
Ella
Estaría siendo ella.
She would be being herself.
habría sido.
She would have
Ella habría
been.
sido ella.
Habría
She would
sido.
have been herself if
Si él
he
Hubiera
would have
hubiera estado,
been
ella
habría sido ella.
in that place. She would have been
Ella
herself.
hubiera estado,
And if
él
she
habría
had
sido
been there,
él.
he would have been himself.
Pero
But
ella habría sido
she would have been herself.
y hubiera estado, si hubiera
And she would
estado,
have
ella había sido ella.
been in the place, she
Y
would
él
have been
habría
herself,
sido
and
él.
he
Sí, sí,
would have
pero
been
ella es ella.
himself. But she
Es
is
ella,
Ella es
pero
ella.
herself.
Ella es
She
ella.
is herself,
Ella es
right?
ella.
She is
Él
herself.
habría sido ella.
He would have been herself.
Vosotros
ellos están,
fuisteis.
ellos están.
Ellos están.
Ellos
You
están.
were, they are, they
Ellos
are.
están. Ellos están. Ellos han sido.
They
Ellos han
have
sido.
been.
Pero ella,
Sido ellos.
ella había sido él.
It's been,
Ella había sido él.
it's been they. She would have seen herself.
Y ellos
And
hubieran
they
estado.
Ellos hubieran estado.
would have been.
Hubieran estado.
They would have been.
Ellos
They
hubieran estado siendo.
They would have been being.
Ellos
Being.
Siendo
They
ellos.
would have been being
ellos.
themselves.
Eran ella.
They
Era
would
él,
have been.
ella.
It was her.
Siendo nosotros.
Siendo.
We would have been
Somos
being
ellos.
ourselves. We are them.
Siendo.
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 Being,
siendo,
being,
siendo,
being.
Siendo.
Being.
ser siendo.
Siendo.
To be
Yo soy-
being. I
yo soy
am.
siendo.
I am being.
Siendo.
Yo soy estando.
Siendo yo.
I am being in a place. I am being myself. I am
Tú eres
you.
tú.
You are you.
Yo soy yo.
You are you, and I am myself.
Ellas son ellas.
They
Siendo.
are themselves
ellos.
by
Ellas
being
ellas.
themselves.
Y ellos son ellos.
They
siendo
are
ellos.
themselves by being themselves, ladies and gentlemen.
Están estando.
Ellas
They are
están
being
siendo.
Están
Ellas
estando.
están.
in a place, and they are being who they are.
Están siendo.
Están siendo.
Están
They are
siendo tú.
being you.
Tú estás siendo ellas.
You are
Yo he
being
sido.
them.
Yo he
I
sido
have
siendo. Yo
been.
he sido siendo.
I have
siendo
been.
habría
I
sido.
would have
Habría
been.
sido.
Vosotros.
I would have been you.
Habría sido ellos.
I would have
Habría
been
sido él.
her. I would have been him. I would have been they.
Si hubieres sido.
If you
siendo tú,
were
siendo.
to have been,
Yo fuera
if
ella,
I were her, or
sería
if
siendo,
I were
sería
to be
estando,
her,
sería estando.
Él hubiera.
he would have,
Si él hubiera sido yo,
if he had been me,
siendo él,
I would be being
Siendo él.
him.
siendo él.
If being him,
Hubiera sido.
I would have been we,
Ellos
Siendo.
and
están
they,
siendo.
they are
Ellos
being.
están siendo.
Tú fuiste.
Están siendo.
You were,
Ellos están
you
siendo.
were,
Tú fuiste.
Ellos
you
están
were.
Ellos
Tú
están
fuiste.
siendo. Ellos están siendo.
They are
ellas,
being,
ellas,
they
ellas,
are being
ellas,
themselves.
ellas, siendo ellas.
She is being herself.
Ella.
It's
ella,
herself.
él,
He is being himself.
ellos están siendo nosotros.
They are being ourselves. We are being themselves.
Ellos han sido.
They have been themselves.
Ellos son. Ellos
They are being in a place, and they are being who they are.
Sé tú.
Sé tú.
Be
Sé tú.
yourself.
Sé tú.
Be yourself.
Sé tú.
Be who you are.
Sé tú.
Be who you are.
Sé tú.
Be who you are.
Sé tú.
Be yourself. Be who you are. Be yourself.
Sed vosotras.
Be who you are.
Sed nosotros. Sed nosotras.
Ourselves.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much.
Gracias. Gracias.
Thank you.
Gracias. 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 Gracias.
Thank you.
Ellas.
They are.
Sois vosotros.